You're watching Channel 1 TV, coming to you live from our studios here at number 5 Owula Hanson Lane, Tesano, Accra. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. News coming in. President John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, has made some more appointments to ministerial positions. We have about 12 of them, 3 being regional ministers, and the rest, of course, to his cabinet. And so we'll bring you the names and, of course, which ministries they are going to serve upon approval by Parliament and its appointments committee. So let's start off with the regional ministers. Earlier, he had made some 10 nominations or appointments. Today, he's added 3 more to that tally of regional ministers. And so out of the 16 regions, 13 names have popped up, and we're left with 3 more to go. So who are the 3 ministers or persons whose names have popped up today for ministerial appointments? In the Western North region, we have Wilbert Petty Brintum going to the Western North region. For the Central region, we have Eduamoa Ekopenyi Ochre. Eduamoa Ekopenyi Ochre going to the Central region. And for the Western region, we have Joseph Nelson. Joseph Nelson nominated for the position of Western Regional Minister. Now let's look at Ministers of State. Ministers of State. We know that 3 nominations have already been made. That of the Finance Ministry, which will see Dr. Kassiola Forsen at the helm of affairs. We'll see John Jinapo going to the Energy Ministry, and Dr. Dominic Akurutenga Ayene going to the Attorney General's Department and the Ministry of Justice. Those 3 names already nominated, already vetted, waiting for the report of the Appointments Committee and, of course, approval by Parliament. Subsequently, the President has mentioned or announced some 9 names for Ministers of State. These 9 names will include, but not limited to, Kwame Governs Agbodza, the Member of Parliament for Adaklu, who is set to take over affairs at the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Ministry of Roads and Highways, Kwame Governs Agbodza, Member of Parliament for Adaklu. Now, Eric Opoku, who is also an MP, will be heading to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Eric Opoku for Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Agnes Namomo Latte. Agnes Namomo Latte is going to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Agnes Namomo Latte, Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection. Abla Jifa Gomashi, and your guess is as good as mine, Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Abla Jifa Gomashi for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Emilia Arthur is going to the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture. Emilia Arthur for the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture. Now, quite an interesting one. George Opare Addo. George Opare Addo, Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. George Opare Addo. For the Ministry of Education, it's the former minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu. Haruna Iddrisu for the Ministry of Education. You have Ahmed Ibrahim Banda MP, who's going to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Ahmed Ibrahim for the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. And then we have the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry will see Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari taking over the helm of affairs. And so these are the names that have popped up so far as part of the formation of John Dramani Mahama's government. And then so far, if we add the 9 to the existing 3 Minister of State nominees, then we have 12 out of the promised 60. And then, of course, for the regional ministers, we have 13 so far, with 3 more to go. Fred Tete Jabano is the head of current affairs production here at Channel 1 TV and City FM, and he is in studio with me to take a look at the nominations by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Fred, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nana.
I don't know where you want to start from. Me, I have seen some interesting names going to some very interesting ministries. And then also, it's important to put out there that we see a realignment of some ministries, and some of them having been scrapped. And so, I mean, the names that have popped up and the places they are going, quite interesting. I don't know where you want to start from, although I have my own suspicion about where you want to take it, but let me give you the opportunity.
I will surprise you.
Please do.
Surprise you.
Please do.
Very exciting names which have been put out by the president. But I'll start with the regional ministers.
Okay.
Let's start with Joseph Nelson. Joseph Nelson for the Western region. The president keeps on going on with the tradition he started with some fear this week by announcing party executives to take up the position of regional executives. So, regional minister. So you have Joseph Nelson, who is the current Western Regional Secretary of the NDC. He has been made the regional minister for Western region. Don't forget that previously, the first list we came, you had a number of secretaries being made
I think out of the 10, there were only 2 chairmen.
There were 2 chairmen and a women's organizer, a deputy women's organizer, and the rest were secretaries, regional secretaries. Regional level. The central region, Eduama Ekopeni Otri, he is a former MP for Gumwa East. He's a former MP for Gumwa East. He is the current vice chairman of the NDC.
Okay.
In the central region. So you recall the case between the regional chairman and the suspension of the then parliamentary candidate for Asin
Central. Yes.
The party suspended the regional chairman for about a month or 2. The deputy, which is Eduama Ekopeni Notri, was asked to act in that particular position. So he acted as vice chairman at the time. So now he's been given the position of regional chairman. So he has